Okay, I'm back. I'm about to make a pecan pie. How many of y'all have ever started to make a pecan pie or wanted to make a pecan pie and realized you didn't have any karo syrup? You know, the thick white corn syrup that is in most pecan pie recipes. Well, I have a recipe that does not call for karo syrup. My good friend Sandy over in Macon, Georgia, she gave me this recipe probably 20 something years ago, and I love making it. It's my favorite, and I have done the taste test with it versus the regular traditional pecan pie that has the karo syrup in it, and this one has won. I had my sewing ladies from my sewing group taste test between the two different pies, and they love this one. So thought I'd share it with y'all this evening. I'm baking. This is my last thing to bake today, and then tomorrow will be a full day of baking the other desserts for Thanksgiving. But I wanted to go ahead and get started with this. So you start off with 3 eggs. So I've already cracked 3 eggs, and I've got them right here. I'm just going to put them down in my mixer. This is something we're going to mix all of it in the same bowl right here. So I'm going to get that started. It'll be a little bit loud. Just be patient with me. I've also melted a stick of butter, and it's cooled off enough that I can handle it, so I know it's not going to cook the eggs when I pour it in here. So I'm going to add this in. So far that's 3 eggs and a stick of melted butter. Now to that, I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of buttermilk. This is whole buttermilk. Just put that right in there. And now I'm going to put 1.5 cups of sugar. This is just regular white granulated sugar, and 2 tablespoons of flour. So I'm going to stir these together first before I start adding them in, just so that we don't get a big poof of flour. You know how sometimes when you add the flour in, it'll poof up like that. So I'm just going to mix it in with the sugar here a little bit like this before I start adding it into the mixer. I'm going to turn y'all down just a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. I think that'll work. So I'm just going to add this into the mix here. I'm having fun with giving out the prizes today, and so I chose the number this morning, and I've let Bob choose the one for this evening. So he chose the number 20, so I'm going to go in there in a little bit and see who was the number 20th person to respond to the sign-up form, and we'll see who that is, and they'll be the next winner. Okay, now I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Love the way vanilla smells cooking. Okay, so now the only thing I still need to add now are the nuts. So I've got 1 cup of chopped pecans that I'm going to toss in here now. Let that mix for just a minute. In the meantime, I have taken just a regular refrigerated pie crust, you know, like these. They come in the boxes. I think there was 2 in a box. So I took one, I rolled it out just a little bit thinner than it normally is, so that it'll fit my pie pans good. So I've got this in a really pretty pie plate here, and this will, I'm also going to set it on top of a small baking sheet, just so that when I'm getting it in and out of the oven, I'm not having to grab hold where the crust is. That's just a little tip that a trick I do, because I don't want to mess that crust up when I'm reaching in the oven. So I think this is ready. I've got my oven set on 350. It should be ready in just a few minutes. It's not quite there. So now I'm just going to pour this right in the pie shell. I think y'all can see. Let me turn it down a little bit more. Let's see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to pour this right in the pie shell. And you can see it has a creamy look to it. Not that clear look like the kind with the karo syrup. You know, I also did the taste test with the pumpkin pies. And, you know, when I taste a pumpkin pie, when I'm not, you know, when they're not side by side like that, each one of them tasted really good. But when you are really doing a side by side taste test, you can really tell the difference in recipes. So, there you go. This is ready to go in the oven. As soon as the oven beeps, I'm going to put it in, and then I will get back with y'all when it's ready to come out. Okay, y'all, I'm doing a little multitasking here. I've got dinner cooking over here on the stove top. I'm making some fish tacos for Bob and I for dinner. But I just took the pie out of the oven. It looks beautiful. Look how good this thing looks. Isn't that pretty? And what I did is about halfway through cooking, around the 21 minute mark or 22 minute mark, I noticed that the crust was starting to get real brown around the edges, so I simply laid a piece of tinfoil over the whole thing and let it finish baking. So it baked for 45 minutes exactly at 350 degrees. So I hope you'll try this great recipe. And while it was cooking, I went ahead and printed out the number 20 of the sign-up forms, and I wanted to tell you who the winner of the next recipe box is. And it is, drum roll again, it is Shay Dennis from Winfield, Alabama. And Shay's favorite food memory is watching my grandmother can vegetable soup for us to eat all year long. So what a great grandmother she had that would work on putting up vegetable soup. That is awesome. I imagine that probably was vegetables that came from her garden if it was a really good grandma. So anyhow, and I'm sure it was. Anyhow, Shay, just congratulations, and I'll be getting your recipe box in the mail to you. Not sure if I have a chance to do it tomorrow since I'm going to be baking all day long, but I'll definitely get it in the mail to you either Friday or next Monday, whenever the post office is open. So anyhow, I'll see y'all tomorrow when I start baking again in the morning. Love you. Have a good evening.